Alright, this is going to be a tutorial on making and using a button. What I've done to start with is I have my three layers, a button layer on the bottom, my content, in this case a square, and an action layer at the top. And if you notice, there is an A in the action layer, which means I have something written there. And if we look, all I have is a stop action. So I have started this out with effectively the minimum amount of material needed. What I'm going to do is write a button to control a motion tween. So I have an object that is a movie clip, and I'm going to assume that from looking at the previous tutorials, you know how to make this movie clip. I'm going to insert in there a motion tween, and you'll notice that yes, indeed, there are my 20 some odd frames, and I'm going to move this to the other side and pull that down. Alright, so that gets us our motion tween. I now need to put in a button. Oh, look at that. I've got a group that has a name on it. Now, how did I do that? Well, let's take that away and start all over again. I've got a green, and so I drag out my oval. I now get a text tool, and I use static text, and I will get dark blue text, and I will type in here start, and I will arrange it a bit, and then I will highlight both of them so that both the oval and the word are selected, and I will start by grouping it. Okay, so now I have a group. And now I need to modify, convert to symbol. I need this to be a button, and just for fun, I'm going to call it start. Alright, so now it has a name, and in the library it comes up and shows that it is a start button. In the properties it says instance of start, but it has no instance name. So I'm going to call this start_btn. And click and save. And this is going to be saved as ButtonTutorial. And so we click on this again, and sure enough it has start button. And it's not being good at all. Okay, so I can't do that. ART_BTN. Alright, so now I have that. And like I said, I never remember, I haven't done this enough so that I am comfortable with doing the naming. So I'm going to go to my project called First Button and go to frame 1, and I'm going to steal everything but the name of the button. So I'm going to copy. I'm going to go back to ButtonTutorial, go to my actions layer, and paste. Now I've got 2 periods and I only want 1. So the name of my button, I need to add an event listener. The event type is a mouse event called click, and I'm going to use a function name go. And so function go is event mouse event. The colon void means it returns nothing. I have an open curly brace, and then it says go to and play to. Alright, go to are lowercase, the and the play are capitalized, and this is the frame that it's going to go to and play. So now I'm going to, whoops, save that. I already did. Good for me. So this is the action. I'm in the actions layer. I'm in frame 1. That's here. There's my button. There's all of that. Save that and play it. And woof, there we go. Now let's add, let's go to frame 24, insert into the timeline a keyframe in the actions layer and a keyframe in the button layer. Now notice that it's trying to have me put an action in the button layer, and I don't want to do that. I want to be up here. So obviously, first thing I want to do is stop, because that will be helpful. And now I need to have a new button, and let's call it _btn dot, oh Lord, what was it? Well, go back to the beginning, add event listener, and let's just take everything, knowing we're going to have to change it all. And I keep getting 2 periods. Now I'm going to have to rename my button return button. I'm going to add an event listener, and now let's call this return. Nope, that won't work. If it's red, that means it's a reserved word, so I can't use that. So let's call it go back. And so my function name down here has to be go back. Okay. Notice that there are some reserved words that you can and cannot use. I can use return _btn, but I could not have that return. Notice that that turns red _btn and life is good. Now what do I want to do? When I return, I want to go to and stop in frame number 1. This is fine, but I still need to change the name of my button. So I'm going to save this. I'm going to go here. I'm going to close that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete that button. I'm going to go to the library, get a new instance of the start button, and drag it onto the screen. And in the properties, I'm going to call this return _btn. Now, this should, he said, work. Start. And now it jumps to the other side, and I go back. Well, this is still called the start button, even though it's the return button. So let's get rid of that. Let's make a new button. We'll give it a different shape. Oh well. It didn't do much. All right. Now, what I want to do now is I need to add text to that. So let's have a yellow, what the heck, and return. And that'll show up pretty well. And now highlighting, I've selected both the octagon and the words. So I will now group that, and then I will modify, convert to symbol. It's going to be a button. I'm going to call it return. And over here, underscore btn and save that. So this is an instance of a return button, and in my action script I still have return button. It doesn't care as long as it knows who it's addressing. So let us see if this is going to work. Start and return, and start and return. So all of that worked well.